What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here. Delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. I've been reading through all the Frank Miller stuff after I went through my big Daredevil binge of all the omnibuses. I've read pretty much all the Daredevil out there. There's still some epic collections I still need to read, but I've read a lot of it. And so Elektra is kind of the next thing from Frank Miller. I don't have the dust jacket on, but it looks very similar to this, like white, but with red where the white is. So it kind of is just reversed and flipped on the inside. And it's pretty short. So there is a complete collection of this also out there. And I think it's like 300-400 pages. And it's got a collection of Bizarre Adventures 28, which is like Marvel's black and white magazine. It's got What If, number 35, which is What If Bullseye had not killed Elektra. Spoiler, Elektra got killed. And then Elektra Assassin, which is a miniseries of 8, and that's with the Bill Sienkiewicz. Oh my gosh, I can never pronounce his name. And then Elektra Lives Again, which is a series that was done later in 1990, when she comes back. All right, Bizarre Adventures is a nice little Elektra tale, and this is the best of the book right here. So you just get like a nice action adventure showing Elektra like before she was killed, and it's just quick. So, but you just see how badass Elektra is. It's got some good storytelling, some good mapping right there. It's all black and white, quick read, and that's it. What If Elektra Lived is just kind of really spins right out of that Daredevil thing when Frank Miller was drawing it. It looks a lot like Frank Miller Daredevil, and it just feels the same. So it's interesting that the what ifs really were not all that crazy. It was just like here's where the timeline diverged, and here's where the difference happens. And it works out pretty good. This is pretty enjoyable towards the end of things. You see Matt Murdock and Elektra kind of doing their thing there. And then it's framed in a, like, they're looking at Elektra's death through this and just wondering what would have happened otherwise. And they would have had a happily ever after. That's what Frank Miller says. So there's that. So pretty cool. So we get two things. This is going to be the main one, which is Elektra Assassin. And this is a pretty long one. I am going to just state it right now. I hated this. I absolutely hated it. I thought it was overwritten. I thought all the like arty stuff that Bill Sienkiewicz does just really is distracting. A lot of it is ugly and looks terrible. And yay, it's arty. Okay, great. But man, this was a slog to get through. At first, actually, the first couple issues didn't bother me that much, just on the terms of what was here. It was kind of a backstory of Elektra. And then it really shifts pace, and there's this, like, it changes perspectives from Elektra to this guy who's like this, like, CIA operative, SHIELD agent or something like that, who, like, I guess Elektra's in his head because of some weird experimental thing or something like that. And so he goes off the rails and, like, is killing people, but he's really not off the rails, and it's a weird deal. And he's just a nasty guy who I don't want to be in his head. And you can see just like how much dialogue gets thrown into this too. It's just a lot for this character I really don't care about. And I just want him to die. I hate the art. It's just a mess from one thing to another. It's a jumbled, the pacing's terrible. It's like, look at this. You get like multiple pages of this where they like tell you the SHIELD backgrounds and things like that. There's a presidential candidate who's out there. And so they're trying to tell some like anti-Cold War message or something like that through the course of this. And the presidential candidates are like the old candidates, like, I guess he's Ronald Reagan and he's kind of crazy. And he's like, I'm the president. I can do what I want. And the new guy is just as bad, but he's like making promises and going to lie about it and is going to escalate the Cold War anyway. I don't know who he's supposed to represent. He looks like Kennedy, kind of. It's bizarre. I don't get the point they're trying to make through this. And over the course of it, like, Elektra, like, shifts bodies with people, kills people. She gets a chance to assassinate the new presidential candidate guy and decides not to. And I don't know. It's just a really funky story. Get a couple other SHIELD agents. One's called Chastity, and she's like a nun who shoots things. It's just like trying way too hard to be dark and badass. And you can see just like this crap again with these small panels with a ton of words. Like, I don't know. I hate this. Like, I don't want to read this. Like, immediate visceral reaction to this page is I don't want to read it. You can see he gets into some creepy, like, BDSM fantasy crap through this. And it's just nasty, it's dirty, and it's terrible. So I didn't want to read it. Eventually it ends, and you get some like Cold War like thing about mutual destruction, anti-nuclear, I guess. There we go. Yay. And everybody kind of dies, except for the twist is like the agent guy like transfers his consciousness into this president's body at some point, I guess. The end. Oh my gosh. So Elektra Lives Again is Frank Miller and Lynn Varnley, and this is a little better. This is in Matt Murdock's head, and Matt Murdock is going to confession and has some nice Catholic imagery here. You do an arty thing here, much like, they're all arty things. This one's a little better. It just like, it flows a little better. The only thing I got to say is like the drawings of Elektra, she looks really ugly throughout all this. And like, it's like, why would you take a pretty character like that and just make her ugly? But it goes through, and Matt Murdock's not sure if she's alive or not, and some stuff's going on, and he just like fights the hand, and is he going crazy? I really don't love the Matt Murdock going crazy type stories. Like, I feel like it's anti-heroic in a lot of ways, so I really wasn't a huge fan of this either, but at least the story flowed and like was just like made a little more sense than that other one. So I mean, it was better than the last one, but I still like didn't care about it at the end of it. And eventually, like, is she alive? Is he crazy? And you kind of just see her in this weird pose right here, and that's the end. So that's it. This is the Elektra saga, and I'm done. I finally finished reading. Oh, what's the end here? What is this? Did I miss something? These are just some pages from original art of Elektra, I guess. Okay. But that's it. Some just art stuff at the back. I absolutely hated this. I really like, just like, man, just tell a comic story that's fun. And this failed on that level. So 5 out of 10. Do not recommend this whatsoever. The what if was okay, and that's about it. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.